In every African home, there is a story that is not written in books. It is whispered in dreams, sung in lullabies, and spoken by grandmothers around the fire. It is the story of spirit. Long before we were given names by churches or numbers by governments, we were known by our essence. We were spirit first, before we became flesh. Spirituality is not a trend, nor is it a performance. It is the lifeblood of our being, the quiet knowing that there is more to life than what the eyes can see. It is the deep feeling that we are never alone, even when there's no one in the room. In African understanding, spirituality is not something you choose, it is something you are born with, something that rises in you when the world goes silent and the ancestors draw near. Many people today confuse spirituality with religion or tradition. They walk in darkness not because the Spirit has not spoken, but because they don't know how to listen. Some wear white and call it holiness, but their hearts are far from truth. Others burn herbs and call it power, but lack respect for the journey. Understanding your calling begins by understanding what each path offers, and what it cannot give. Religion, in its formal sense, is the structured practice of faith. It is the church, the mosque, the temple, places where sacred rituals are performed and community is built around shared beliefs. Religion is powerful because it creates order and teaches moral principles. It gives people language to speak to God. But religion without spirit is like a drum with no sound. It may look whole, but it carries no life. Tradition, on the other hand, is the root of our identity. It is the way our people named us, buried us, healed us, and celebrated us. Tradition is how your grandmother knew to place water by the door when someone died. It is how your uncle could read the stars without a telescope. Tradition is wisdom passed down, not in textbooks, but through the heart and bones. It teaches us how to be human in African skin. But it is spirituality that holds them both. It is not confined to rituals or rules. It is fluid, like water. It moves through dreams, through visions, through intuition. Spirituality is what makes a child speak truth without being taught, or an elder sense death before it arrives. It is what calls you in the quiet hour when no one understands the restlessness in your soul. There is a reason why our people, even when stripped of land, language, and liberty, still survived. Because their spirits were awake. They did not need permission to connect with the divine. They did not need a Sunday to speak to God. The river was their sanctuary. The fire was their altar. The dream was their prophecy. But over time, something shifted. With colonization came confusion. The drum was replaced by the bell. The ancestral cloth was traded for soups. The sacred names were renamed in foreign tongues. We were taught that to be spiritual in the African way was to be backward, or even demonic. So we began to fear ourselves. We began to silence the voices of our ancestors. We stopped dreaming aloud. Today, many feel the call again, a spiritual awakening that is loud but unexplainable, a hunger that religion cannot satisfy. A longing to return to something older than scripture, something that lives in the bones. To understand your calling, you must understand that it is not just about becoming a healer or prophet. It is about becoming whole, becoming aligned with your purpose, your people, and your power. Your calling may lead you to the altar or to the herbal garden, to the dreams of the night or to the cries of the sick. But it will never lead you to forget where you come from. So sit with the silence. Burn the herbs if you must. Pray the prayers that come from your spirit, not just your mouth. And if your dreams begin to speak in the voices of your ancestors, listen.